Hey, hey, how you doing? Welcome to None of This Matters. I'm Danny Kopich. Hope your day's going well. Hope your weekend's going well. Hope your fucking life is going well, my friend. I hope it's great. I hope the breakfast you ate this morning tasted like a fucking $1 million. I really do. I just listened to that new Linkin Park song. Not the biggest Linkin Park fan, but I'm always down to listen to anything that has people shit in the bed over. And goddamn, I'm the first person to jump in any argument and tell someone that an opinion is simply subjective. So I understand what I'm expressing here is nothing but a mere opinion. But the new Linkin Park song sounds like something fucking Katy Perry queefed out after a fucking long night of Taco Bell and filet mignon. I don't know what that means. But whatever. It's awful. It really is. It's really, really bad. See, I understand when bands need to update their sound. Linkin Park now is the second band, but there's one band that I've had my eye on as far as watching this abrupt metamorphosis, and it's just not so much their sound changing that's hilarious to me, it's people's reactions that's hilarious to me, and that's Suicide Silence. So they take up with this guy, Ross Robinson. Ross Robinson, who some of you may know, is the guy he worked on, he discovered Korn. He discovered fucking Limp Bizkit. He put on a Glassjaw, which that's separate. Glassjaw is just, I love Glassjaw. I think Fear Factory he worked on. He used to have this place in California called Indigo Ranch. It was like this makeshift little cabin that he just, filled out with analog equipment. And he was a guy who, he's one of the fathers of nu metal. So you can love him or hate him for that, but that's who he is. So anyway, yeah, this nu metal resurgence happening. Bands are starting to add more grooves, starting to kind of play with their 7 strings only on the fucking, on the top string. Just leaving just that kind of like, that heavy Cornish kind of groove. So I guess Suicide Silence decided to one-up that by, instead of incorporating that style into their music, they're just going to go full steam ahead with the guy who helped originate that sound and completely do a complete fucking full-on 180 on their sound. Like, this is a band who put out, like, a year and a half ago, a full-up deathcore album. Heavy breakdowns, the only vocals were lows and highs. And as some of you may know, some of you have heard, the Suicide Silence put out this absolutely polarizing. And when I say polarizing, I mean, like, I haven't seen so much hatred towards something since fucking Justin Bieber came out. I mean, I'm using that to scale within, like, the metal community or the subculture. But I haven't seen something so unanimously hated, and then the people that stick up for it with, like, all their fucking, just like, give it everything they got. And it's hilarious to watch. But it is strange when a band pulls a 180 like that. Linkin Park, at the same time, they're one of those bands that, like, really, who gives a shit? They're millionaires. It really doesn't matter. They could fucking put out an album of Mike Shinoda farting on a fucking splash cymbal. I guarantee you it'll sell, if you count, including streaming, obviously, to update it to modern terms. Sure, it'll sell like a fucking 100,000. Easy. There's some bands they just don't have to do shit and people will eat it up. Which, that in itself is insane. Now, the music industry's just gotten a little out of hand. The Grammys this year are a perfect example. People are saying that Beyonce got robbed. How the fuck did Beyonce get robbed, man? Frank Ocean put out one of the best R&B albums I've ever heard in my life. Like, my entire life. 2 of them, if you want to count Endless. And he didn't even get a nomination. He didn't even get a fucking nod. Yet people are complaining Beyonce got robbed. Listen, Baroness, they were nominated. They actually were nominated, which is amazing in and of itself, for the Purple album. And the Purple album is a fucking masterpiece. And Megadeth got it. And Megadeth by no means put out a terrible album, but you can't stack up fucking Megadeth's umpteenth fucking album with a 55-year-old Dave Mustaine to a fucking Baroness in their youth and prime right now. I don't get it, man. And Kanye West had that whole fucking meltdown. But there was a bunch of other shit he was saying in that rant that made a lot of sense. And especially in context, seeing everything, I think he was touching on something. And I think there's a little bit more to him just having a meltdown. He was saying about how, and I'm paraphrasing, Jay-Z and Beyonce kind of have the market cornered. They've become so powerful in the music industry that they're kind of the king makers, so to speak, king and queen makers. You see, he said Beyonce refused to play the VMAs unless she won the award. That, and they abided by that, and it's insane. And then he goes out to control call out program directors that are in Jay-Z's pocket, saying about how certain people can't get radio play because they have to pass through certain channels. This is all on YouTube, by the way. You can fucking YouTube Kanye West meltdown, and it's all in there. Point being, music industry's fucked, dude. Think about how many good bands you hear on a regular basis. Bands that are playing to like 30 people. Touring in some shitty van in some dog shit trailer. Playing a fucking 2 bears, a fucking chicken, and a cow in fucking Cheyenne, Wyoming somewhere. They're phenomenal fucking bands. Write their own material. Do everything themselves. Do the artwork. Really put their hearts into it. I'm not even just talking bands. Talking, you have producers who really craft these beautiful soundscapes. MCs, you have some incredibly, and I personally know some of them, talented MCs who don't have people's ears. And to me, that's insane. But meanwhile, you have bands who just convolute their songwriting. You have, singers who have a writing team of 10, 15 people to construct one fucking 4-movement, 3-minute pop song. You have rappers who don't even write their own fucking verses anymore, and that's okay. Everyone let Dr. Dre slide back in the day just because Ice Cube left and they needed another voice, and everyone already knew that fucking Eazy-E wasn't writing this shit, so it didn't matter. But now it's at the point that no one writes their shit, man. And it's insane that these are the people that everyone's rooting for. These are the people that are huge. These are the people that are being pushed on us. And with all due respect, I don't really think any of them are that talented. You're really going to tell me that Drake is a better rapper than R.A. the Rugged Man? I just don't understand. You used to hear stories, like a lot of bands that I loved growing up. You heard stories about how they got signed, about how they got discovered. MCs, artists, be whoever it may. It was because they would amass these followings. There would be a buzz about them. And the A&R or whoever would come and check out the show. And obviously this was before the days of social media, before it was extremely easy to get your music out there. But it used to mean that you had to work hard. You had to cut your fucking teeth. You had to put in the hours, man. You had to sleep on some shitty hardwood floors and inside the van on a freezing night. You had to do it. You had to be good at your instrument. You had to know how to write your own stuff. It's awesome that social media and the internet made it so easy for everyone to share their music and to be able to share, whatever aesthetic they're trying to get out there. But I feel like even with the dawn of X Factor and fucking American Idol, it's just, there's none of that. That's all out the window. That's insane. That's insane that a band that you could hear that you think is fucking phenomenal. Take Gates, for example. Gates is incredible. You see this band live and it's, how are they not selling out all over the country? There's a band that fucking tours all the time. All these guys have day jobs. There's a whole subculture of people who just do it because they love it. You have a lot of cats like Run the Jewels. I love Run the Jewels, and I'm so happy that they got to where they are, because I remember seeing Killer Mike on features all the time on Outkast albums, on fucking UGK albums, and he was that guy who was like, fuck man, this guy comes on with his verse and he destroys it. But you would never know of him past that. And LP used to own Definitive Jokes Records. This is the guy who discovered Aesop Rock. This is the guy who discovered Cage. This is the guy who discovered, Cannibal Ox. He used to be in Company Flow. Phenomenal underground hip-hop group from the 90s. These are two guys, they're the rare success story, man. Run the Jewels, not only do they put out some great hip-hop, these are two guys who probably deserve it more than fucking anybody. So they're a testament that maybe that concept is not truly dead. Could be. But I don't know, man. This music industry is just falling the fuck apart. And I really hope it does crumble. I really do. I don't listen to radio. I don't listen to any of that. I'm tired of being spoon-fed shit. No, and I'm not the type of person to compromise with my art. Art is supposed to be expression. The whole reason why I love music, why I love film, why I love comedy is because I'm able to find a connection with it. I'm able to find a relation with it. I hear a sound that I love. I hear like a riff with a set of lyrics that I love that really fucking dig into me, that really make me feel something. It's a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful feeling to find that connection. Even in stand-up comedy, when Bill Burr goes off on his rants, like I fucking die laughing and I relate to it. And that makes me love it that much more, is the relation of it. I don't want to be spoon-fed shit that I don't relate to or doesn't mean anything. Music is art, man. It's supposed to mean something. I remember growing up in the 90s, you would have, and I don't like being that guy. I don't like being that guy. I remember back in my day, I like looking forward. I like hearing new artists. I like the new. I like the new. I always want to hear what else is out there. But I remember when in the 90s, you would have like Busta Rhymes, you would have fucking Smashing Pumpkins, you would have DMX, early Blink-182, Foo Fighters, Wu-Tang, Onyx, Aphex Twin. This was your top 40. This was your Billboard top 40. And even the bubblegum pop, you still had people who, they still had a team of writers, unfortunately, back then. But even then, your pop stars had to sing and dance. They at least had to know how to do it. I want to know where that shift happened. I want to know where that shift happened from where we went product of someone's hard work and their labor and their love and their art and their expression and their creation. I want to know where the shift went from us being spoon-fed that. We're still being spoon-fed. Music industry means you're still being spoon-fed whatever they fucking have. But at least they would spoon-feed you art, like something that meant something. You get your glimmers. Your little diamonds in the dirt. But for the most part, it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. So much of it is just indistinguishable. I don't know. Anyway, I got some cool stuff lined up for you this week. I got some good guests. Still locking everything in, so I'm not going to share anything just yet. I don't want to jump any guns, but have yourself a good one, all right? All right.